My wife gave all our son's friends pet fish at his birthday party last year and made their parents hate us. Now our son's birthday is coming up again, and she wants to run it back and give them all another fish to take care of. Posted by you/Noltmage. For some context, the story starts last year at our 7-year-old son's birthday party. I, 32M, and my wife, 32F, held the party at our home. We decided to leave the bulk of the planning to my wife, as she loves this kind of thing and wanted to take the reins. I had no reason to doubt any of her plans, as she had done a great job with our past parties. I handled invites, food orders, and anything else she needed me to do. To her credit, she did a great job with the party itself, everything ran smoothly, and the kids had a great time. Until she brought out the party favors that she had kept a surprise from me. They came out when our friend had to leave with her daughter right after the cake. Before she could, my wife went into the back room and came out with a bag, the biggest grin on her face. What was inside the bag, you ask? A small tetra fish from the pet store, to be given as a party favor. My friend was flabbergasted. Her daughter said, "Mommy, I've always wanted a fish." My friend was at a loss for words, only glaring at me. She declined the fish, walking out of the party while her daughter clung to her, throwing a tantrum about turning down her new pet. Obviously, the chaos caused a scene, as all the children now knew about the fish. Every single parent in the room was pissed. Glaring and muttering things like, "What are we going to tell our kids? Great, now I have to get a fish tank." Most parents obliged and reluctantly accepted the fish. The whole time, my wife was elated at the sight of the happy children, oblivious to how their parents reacted. We ended up having to take a few fish home that had been turned down, meaning we also had to buy a tank. My wife couldn't understand why anyone would pass up a wonderful 50-cent fish she grabbed that morning from PetSmart. Fast forward to now, 1 year later. It's a month away from my son's 8th birthday party, and my wife broached the topic of party favors. She gleefully said that we should hand out fish again. The kids loved it, it was a hit last year. I do not want to go through this again. Several of my friends who were at the party complained about having to take care of these fish, being put in a situation where they felt pressured to accept the gift to avoid upsetting their child. They had never received such a ridiculous party favor, and they wouldn't be attending if this was the case again. Not to mention, this feels horribly abusive to the fish, who now have owners who don't want them. My wife brushed all of this off, saying that the parents were being selfish for not thinking about what makes the kids happy. She apparently didn't notice anyone upset at the party, only focusing on how the kids felt. She's calling me controlling, saying she doesn't even want to plan the party if she can't have this her way. All of her small group church friends agree with her. I don't want to upset my friends by putting them in an unfair situation, but I don't want to upset my wife because she truly does enjoy putting these events together. Am I the jerk for telling my wife not to buy party favor fish? Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Not the jerk. She gave the parents an obligation, not a treat for the children. Ops response. I'd be so upset if that happened to me. She has already argued, I'd love to receive pets as a party favor. Who wouldn't? She loves animals and can't understand that other people's situations may not be ideal for adding a pet. Commenter 2. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of parents RSVP'd no this year. And if she does fish again, no one will come to her son's parties after this. She needs to think about her son and his future. She needs to think about the fish, the other parents, and her spouse, Op, instead of getting her jollies off kids being excited while she makes everyone else miserable. Op's response. You're absolutely right. It's so unfair for our son if his friends don't attend because of her actions. Commenter 3. That's not a gift. Your wife is giving out chores and unwanted expenses to those parents. She is very selfish for that. Ask her if she is willing to buy the fish tanks, supplies, and food, and if she is willing to go feed each fish daily and clean their tank when needed. I bet she'll say no. Op's response. I've asked about the fish tanks, and she said, that would be too expensive to buy 20 fish tanks, which I thought would convince her this is a bad idea. Commenter 4. This is very typical narcissistic behavior. They are never wrong, and any other opinion or even an obvious plan opposite their own isn't worthy of consideration. They don't recognize it at all. A narcissist will seldom do the most appropriate thing, choosing something more complicated that will upset a normal person. Op's response. You're very intuitive. I believe you're absolutely right. She just focused on how the kids were so happy and how that encouraged her to do it again, implying it made her very happy seeing the kids happy. Update 1 month later. Hey Reddit, it's been nearly a month since I posted about the party favor situation between my wife and me. My son had his birthday yesterday, and I wanted to share an update on how everything turned out. I took your guys' advice and decided to just talk to her. I used a lot of your points from the comments to reason with her, especially the ones about animal abuse. My wife just kept insisting that I was controlling, eventually just shutting down and walking away, giving me the silent treatment. For those of you asking if this has happened before, yes. Not the party situation exactly, but the I'm going to make a horrible selfish decision and if you push back, you're controlling behavior. She has backed out of multiple parties and events last minute because she didn't feel like going, and accused me of abandoning her when I told her I still wanted to go. Insisted I stop playing guitar because she finds it annoying. Attended a wedding in a swimsuit because she was told there was a pool. Proceeded to spend the whole reception at the pool because they're your friends, I don't really care about celebrating them. Pushed back on my insistence to find a new school for our son, even though he was being bullied, because she didn't feel like causing a scene. Our son is in a new school now, and he's much happier. I was fed up and refused to give in. I can't let my son go through this, and I'm not letting him lose friends because of my wife's selfishness. After literally following my wife around the house, trying to get her to talk to me, she said, "Fine, if you want it your way, you can plan this party yourself." So, I did. I planned the party myself, besides the invitation, location, and date, which were already planned. My wife also demanded on picking out the cake, and that wasn't a hill I was willing to die on. It wasn't anything special, but I'm actually kinda proud. It was Jurassic Park themed. My son and I just watched all the movies together, and he adores them. He's really excited for the new one. I themed each table around different dinosaurs and put little plastic dinosaurs everywhere. As for the party favors, I gave out little bags of candy. Nothing amazing, but the kids were happy, and my son was thrilled. And no fish were harmed in the making of this party. After the party, my wife kept telling me how lame everything was. That the party was boring, and the kids weren't literally jumping up and down for my candy party favors like they were for hers. Frankly, I don't care. Sure, the kids didn't have a brand new pet to bring home, but at least my party favors didn't piss off all of our friends and doom my son to a life of friendlessness. Truly, I don't know how things are going to go with my wife and me. I'm reaching my limit with her insanity. I've tried insisting on marriage counseling, but she refused unless it was done by the pastor of our church. We went, and it was a whole session of the pastor telling me I'm not a good enough man to take care of my wife. About how I'm turning away from God with my actions, and that's ruining our marriage. Needless to say, we haven't gone back, and ever since, my wife loves to use this session against me in arguments. I loved her, but I'm finding it harder each day to keep being in love. I hate the idea of my son thinking this is a happy marriage and that this is a healthy way to live. Divorce scares me, but I don't know if I can live with this anymore. Thank you for helping me realize that there's a lot going wrong in my marriage, far beyond a forced fish adoption crisis. I have a lot to think about, but for now, I'm going to finish watching Jurassic World with my son. By the way, 2 of the 3 fish we had to take home last year are still going strong. They've grown on me. But damn, I'm never getting another fish. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Divorce and being happy and focusing on your son is more important than being miserable and putting your son in a home with a narcissistic wife. Ops response. I can absolutely understand this. My son is my priority. Her church puts a ton of pressure on us to never divorce. She gets so much support through them, they view me as the bad guy. Commenter 2. Get a divorce and pick the guitar back up. Ops response. I actually did pick the guitar back up not too long ago. When my wife realized I wasn't going to stop for good after all, she demanded that I only play when she and our son weren't home, because he finds it annoying too. That last part hurt deeply, so I asked my son if he's bothered by it at all, and he said no, and that he actually wants to learn how to play too. Is Op and his wife planning to have another kid? She keeps asking me to have another kid, because it'll bring us closer and solve our issues. We keep getting asked at church, when are you having another one? Absolutely not. I'm not going through this again.